Hello and welcome back to episode 16
We back,
of the
baby.
Best of Rivals podcast. I'm here with Jay.
Hey,
Jay.
wait. The best
Yeah.
podcast in the business. You know how
Oh
we
my
rocking.
Jay. That's a little cocky. But I'm down. I'm down. I agree. But
Come on, baby.
Jay, it's been a good week for me for sure. Watching a little FA Cup in Miami. That went well. And
Look,
now
he
we
has to throw in Miami. Little flex. The
I
viewers
just
don't need to
watched.
know that.
Jay,
No
I was
one
just
needs to
watching.
know.
Jay, I was just watching out on the beach front, looking at the water, looking at my team. The blue of the shirt matched the blue of the ocean, that type of thing. So, I'm joking. No, but honestly, great week for me. Decent week for you guys. Playing Aston Villa twice, losing once. Sorry, drawing once and winning once. But
It felt like a loss, though. So,
dude, I mean, we'll get into that game. What a game, by the way. Yeah, I'm glad to be back, Jay.
Are you? No,
Yeah, of course.
it feels great to be back. Honestly, lately, time has just been moving so quickly and
Yeah.
coming and going, and then we've had like pauses within like the podcast. So it's just been really rocky, but I'm proud of us for sticking with it.
Yeah. We're gonna be so much more consistent, just because the
You know,
schedule around that time, holidays, and then you're going on vacation, and I'm going on vacation, and it's just
exactly.
crazy. So,
Birthdays coming up, New Year's, like it's just been
yeah,
wild, man. But like I think that's a great leeway to what's been going on. I've watched, I guess the Premier League here and there, kept up with it. I've
yeah.
seen your boys. You guys have been doing your thing. Shouts to you.
12 games
I'm,
straight,
you
11
said what?
games. I think we're like 12 or 11 games straight
Yeah,
wins. I don't know, something crazy.
it's impressive. It's very impressive, but I'm not surprised. Um, did we learn anything, from your perspective when you guys played against Chelsea, or like what was it
Um,
for you?
Honestly, it's one of those things where I think it just shows the difference in levels, right?
Okay.
Um, we beat Chelsea 1-0 last time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And now we beat them again 1-0. I just think, that period last year when we lost 3 times in a row to these guys, I think that was a little bit of Pep overthinking it. I think it's a little bit of a fluke, maybe a little bit of momentum. I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, it
Um,
was a fluke. I
yeah.
thought, at least, just looking at it from Chelsea getting that far
Mm,
and Man City not performing well
yeah.
enough, and it's just so many ands. I'm saying and again and again. KDB got hurt.
Yeah.
That's
In the
that's your
middle of the
best
game.
player. So it's like I don't Chelsea. I knew right away that it was BS when they won.
Yeah.
A win's a win, and at
You
the
got
end
to,
at the
yeah.
end of the
Yeah.
day in the history books, it's going to say that Chelsea has a Champions League title, and
Yeah.
shouts to them. But nah,
It didn't feel like it was the right winner, if that makes sense. And
exactly.
I think this year was kind of starting to prove that a little bit. KDB's goal was just incredible. I mean, bro, he's shooting so much more now. Like that's actually one of the things I noticed is he's shooting so much more because we don't have a traditional number 9.
Yeah.
That he's just like every time he's like within 30 yards, he's looking at the goal, which is great.
I
One of the
mean,
best
it's
finishers in the game,
so.
honestly.
I think that's great. What do you value most when it comes to KDB? Is it the vision and the playmaking, or
Yeah,
is it his low key? Because I think it's very impressive. He is a great goal scorer, man.
yeah,
He can
yeah.
drill it in from
Dude,
outside the box,
with
inside
both
the
feet,
box, both feet,
it's crazy. Yeah,
clinical.
he's really the full package. It's just it depends on the game, right? The
Yeah,
game's going to sort of determine if we need him to be more advanced scorer, or if Sterling and them are making runs, he can pick the pass perfectly. So I think his passing and combined with his decision making is what makes him an elite midfielder, right?
yeah.
But you can't sleep on his shot at all. So sure, I go with the passing, but I mean, it.
You're playing it safe. No, I got you. I got you.
No, I mean, I gotta go with the passing, bro. I mean, he's like every time he gets the ball, I think he's gonna make the right play, and I think he's gonna make the right pass, and 9 out of 10 times he does. So
All
it's
right,
just
keep it
interesting.
really quick. Where do you rank him? Top five, top three, top
in,
10
in the game.
midfielders of all time. Of all time.
Oh, I don't know about all time. I mean, it's difficult in football, right?
Okay.
I mean, especially all the footage that I haven't seen. That's tough. I mean, if you talk
I
about
like
like in
it.
the last 20
Great
years,
answer.
last 20 years, I can confidently say there's not too
I
many
only I
better
only
than
bring
him.
it up because I see it all the time.
Yeah.
On the Twitter waves and everything, Instagram. KDB is the greatest of all time. He's up there with uh, Zidane and everybody. It's like, is he? Is he? Is he? Does
Well,
he have a
maybe.
case?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I see where you're going with. Okay. This is how I love Twitter. This is why I love Twitter. They always make you think. I mean, even if they're complete idiots. Um, that's interesting because obviously back in my day, I watched a lot of Zidane, a lot of Kaká, right?
Yeah,
These types of midfield, Ronaldinho,
exactly.
even these types of midfielders that just lit up the stage, even on the international level as well. I don't know if KDB is maybe. I mean, listen, I've watched more games from him than those guys, right? So it's very
Yeah,
difficult for me to like not be biased.
I mean, because Zidane has over him a World Cup, right? He has one
World
with
Cup,
France,
yeah,
uh, Champions
I
League.
think so, right? Or at least a World Cup final
Yeah,
against Italy. Remember,
yeah,
remember
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
headbutt,
They didn't win. Yeah. Oh yeah, the headbutt, the
the
classic
headbutt. Yeah,
headbutt.
yeah. I was watching that game. I remember that shit too. That was crazy.
Oh my god.
Um,
But yeah,
yeah,
it's like what I'm saying. It's a conversation. It's
it's a
definitely a
conversation, of
conversation.
course, of
Um,
course.
I don't know personally where I would rank him. Because like I don't know. Like you said, there's so much footage, and there's so many
Hmm.
midfielders that I know I'm probably not going to include in my top five or top
He's
10.
is he better than Paul Scholes? Like, there's a debate. Sure, he's a little
Yes,
bit of a
yes, he
different
is.
player.
As a talent, I've seen footage on, like, I didn't see Paul play personally, but I've seen footage on him.
Okay,
And then I've seen KDB play footage,
it's
everything. He's a
it's
better
best.
talent.
I would agree overall his game's better, but I mean, especially defensively.
Yeah,
Defensively, KDB does it as well.
but
But
Paul
at the
was
same,
cold though.
I mean, the game was different though back then. I mean, a lot of people talk about, and I'm not trying to stray too far away from the subject, but a lot of people talk about Ryan Giggs. His
I
stats
know you're
didn't
bringing
really
him up.
show a lot, and it's like Ryan
Giggs was
Giggs
a
was a
player.
left. He was a left midfielder, right? There's no more. There's no such thing as a left midfielder in today's game. You're either a
Exactly.
left winger, or you're a left back, or
Do
maybe a left
I
wing
make
back.
left midfielders and like my player on
Yeah,
FIFA.
exactly. Yeah,
Like
it
that's
doesn't.
how unheard
That's
of it is.
dude. Like there's no more 4-4-2 in this thing, bro. So
Facts.
it's like yeah, it's interesting conversation for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but as the season's gone on and as KDB has, in my opinion, been one of our best players, we always go on this run, right? This is what Man City's done for the last maybe 2-3 years now. Is we've gone on this run of winning games, winning games, winning games, and unfortunately for the entertainment aspect of the Prem, looks like no team's really caught up with us or kept pace with us. Um, is this kind of the point in the season where you're like, okay, game's over, right? League's done, season's
Yeah.
over. Let's just look to the Champions League now because this is kind of in the bag. Or do you still have excitement week after week?
Truthfully speaking, it's the first answer. Or the first question you posed to me. Uh it's been like this with me for like, the last 5 years now, because Man City's just been dominant for that long.
Yeah.
Even longer than that probably. I don't even know. But it gets to a point where it's like, they're gonna win. You guys are so
Mm.
far ahead. And on United's part, it's the same thing. We have flashes throughout the season, but then at this point, it's we're getting 1 point,
Do you
one
feel?
point every weekend, and
Yeah.
things like of that nature, or
Do
losing
you feel
games.
that's a very interesting point? Do you feel that you guys getting second place last year sort of set unrealistic expectations for this season?
No, no, because we're still Man United. Every
Mm.
season in, season out, it's we want to win the title. We have the most titles. When you have the most titles in a league, Premier League wise, because I know Liverpool fans are gonna say, "Well, we had." I don't want to
Mm.
hear it. PL, we're
Yeah.
talking PL.
Yeah.
We have the
Yeah.
most. So when you establish that, there's no second place. Like we're at that standard.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it doesn't even matter, right? Like
It doesn't matter.
manager,
No, it doesn't
players,
matter.
you guys
No,
expect to be so okay. So when we
expect to
hear
be that
about
good.
when we hear about this top four stuff, and we'll sort of get into if you actually think that top four is still realistic. I mean, is it almost embarrassing or like a little bit hard to talk about, like from a standpoint of we're just trying to get to top four? I mean, you just talked about you guys are Man United. You guys are supposed to be contending every single season. You guys are barely in the conversation for top four at this point, and it does put a smile on my face. I'll be honest with you, especially watching the Aston Villa game. Yeah, is it realistic at this point? I mean, I could
No,
name
it's.
the
I
teams
mean,
ahead of
it's
you.
not. It's not because if you've been watching, and not you personally, but just like the average fan or average person, if you've been watching or paying attention at least somewhat, you will know that Man U isn't doing good on paper, and they damn sure ain't doing good in the
Hmm.
media because that
Hmm.
locker room is a shit show.
Yeah.
So like, not only are we doing bad just like out there on the field, we're battling like our own like chemistry and just you know communication. It's terrible right now. It's so
Yeah.
bad. So I don't see top four at all.
Okay.
Um,
And what do
we
you
are
think? What
far
do you think?
away.
What do you think needs to be fixed first? Right? Is it the sort of leadership and standards being set by the club and the
Oh,
manager?
it's with United at this point. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I've been thinking how am I going to address this? Because the players are one thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been seeing it. It's really bad. Like a bunch of divas. I've never
Mm,
seen anything like it at Man United right now, right? But scratch that. That's talent out there that we have that's already been producing, and I've seen it with my own eyes. We've all seen it.
yeah.
This stems back to something that's been happening the past 5, 6, 7 years with Man United. That front office, it needs to go. Everybody, cut clean the house.
Yeah.
Because then with that, player decisions are made as well.
Hmm.
We won't be giving Harry Maguire 80 bucks whatever when we know he isn't that player.
Hmm.
The dude is out there like losing his spot every week in and week out.
He's
But
trying to. It
he's
looks like he's
supposed to be
trying to lose his spot.
our ace. I don't want to like come on, man.
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
starts with that front office, that management. They need to go. Like Ali was one thing, but he's not the whole thing.
You know, it's
I don't know because like it's hard because the Glazers. We can talk about behind the scenes here.
mhm.
I don't want to be too political because I don't know all the facts, but the Glazers, man, they have money. And I don't see them.
Well, what happened this summer, though? I mean, listen. I know. Listen. I know money's not going to solve everything, right? I know one good transfer window isn't going to solve everything. But when you guys do spend pretty much the most money in the summer on what we all at this and again during the summer thought was the best transfer window for a team in the Premier League. Again, Ronaldo, Varane, Sancho, I believe one more as well.
Talking about coming in for
Yeah,
the season.
it, yeah, exactly. In the summer, I mean, you guys spent really, really well. I mean, isn't that the owner? I mean, the owner spent the money. I mean, that's kind of like his job. Like, obviously, there's other parts to being an owner, but you know, I think the big shock for
I
you
just think
guys.
I don't mean to cut you off, but too much has been tolerated
Mm,
and allowed at Man United from
that's yeah,
the people who run the show, and with that, you're just not gonna have a productive environment. 'Cause I think coaches are gonna be undermined and
yeah.
players are gonna have egos.
That just shows.
I saw this
Yeah.
coming. Like I don't want to speak too much on Cristiano, but I saw
Mm,
this coming when he came. Reports were like, "Oh, he's coming to Man United." Yes, with that comes the great Cristiano Ronaldo, Mr. Champions League. All these goals, the legend
yeah.
himself. But then there's the ego. There's the mentality that I know some players they're not ready for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's be real, you look at it on paper, Cristiano Ronaldo does not match up. Like these players aren't the same ilk as him at all. Like at all,
Yeah. Yeah. It does look a little bit odd
it's
when you're
odd.
looking at when you're looking at the pitch and you're looking at McTominay and Fred, and then you look at Ronaldo right next to him, and it's like,
So when I see reports, like reports, quote unquote, we don't want to take too much with this, but when I see reports of Greenwood and all these other players complaining, saying that Cristiano's too much, yeah, it makes sense. What do you
mhm.
expect? You
Yeah.
pair this guy up with this guy when they're at two different stages in their career.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
goofies, but you want them to make money. This is why I say it starts with the owners. They knew
Well,
what they were doing,
mhm.
and now you're reaping the consequences.
That's very interesting. That's a very interesting point because as we both mentioned again when that move first happened, podcast episode, I don't know, 2 or 3 maybe, we mentioned that the only reason they got Ronaldo was because City wanted him. That was the only reason. So it kind of does make sense now that, you know, they didn't look at all the consequences. And that's something we talked about, right? Like the last thing Manchester United needed was Cristiano Ronaldo. You know,
Yeah.
when you have 6 offensive players, and we weren't even talking about Alanga back then, right? He just started, yesterday. But it's it's a very interesting point, and I think there's this big pull between, is Ronaldo the problem? Is Ronaldo the only person that's not the problem? Like, what is the problem? And you're kind of, what you're really saying is there's very low expectations and low standards throughout the club, and that's going to obviously filter in to the actual performance on the pitch.
Yes,
So
like I'm like yeah. Basically, to sum it up, I don't think it's Ralph. I don't blame him at
yeah,
all.
didn't have a
He's
good game, didn't have a good management game yesterday though.
oh
I
no,
mean,
no
having not closing the game out after 2-0 is kind
two
of,
two 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 when we can't afford to like drop points like that.
yeah.
It makes no sense, And then because I don't want to stay here too long and linger, but it disappoints me and it rubs me the wrong way when you go on social media and you see you praising Bruno for getting a brace or something, after
Mhm.
the game when it's 2-2. Like
Yeah,
that's the stage I don't like where we're at right now.
yeah.
We're so big where we just want to make noise and ratings and likes. Like no, it's about W's.
Yeah, imagine like
They've lost touch, man. They've lost touch.
a Wayne Rooney or like a Roy Keane, like going to the press the next day and saying, "Oh, I scored 2 goals. Well,
Yeah,
I played well." Like, they
it's
care about winning, bro.
winning, man. Like not the stats. I've never been a
And
stat
by
like
the way,
that's
yeah,
I don't want to
go ahead.
teach, but I'm about to preach to the choir, to the crowd, everybody right now, man.
To Twitter.
To
It's
Twitter.
always the Twitter, bro. It's
Listen,
always the
man.
Twitter.
Bruno, like I love him. I love him. But stats is one thing.
Hmm.
You can produce, you can get goals, you can do all these things, right? Wins to me, that's not stats. That's something that's like it has to be done at the end of the day.
Yeah,
There's a win and there's a loss. We've never been about stats. Never.
yeah,
Wayne Rooney was like on pace to be the all-time leading goal scorer throughout his whole career, and we knew it, right? But
yeah,
what was it that like every season we came into like the mindset with we want that title.
yeah.
That's why we got Robin Van Persie. We wanted that title.
Hmm.
He can give a f about the rivalry, Arsenal, United. He
Yeah,
wanted a title.
that's a good point.
It's a W. That's what we're about, not stats. Cut it out.
And what's so if we want to if we want to talk about stats, sure, let's bring up the good stats, the goals, the this, the that. Let's also look at the bad stats. I mean, I watched the game. How many times did he give the ball away? Like, this is a player
It's
that
a That
this
happens
is a
all the
pl-
time.
he's literally kicking the ball away. And it honestly, the way he's playing, it looks like he's running to get the ball to just kick the ball away. Like it's crazy. I'm like, yo, this guy. But guess what? He scores 2 goals, so he's not the problem. I think a lot of those players are the problem. I think a lot of the system is the problem. We could talk about that all day, but there's one player um, who doesn't look like he's going to be getting his spot back anytime soon. And I know this is a Man U and Man City podcast. I know it's a Premier League podcast, but we're going to stay on Man U just for a little bit.
Oh, we're hot right
Um,
now. We got all the drama.
um,
We're back. We're back,
by the
baby.
way, I did love Coutinho's return to the Prem. My goodness,
Hey,
I've never
facts.
liked Coutinho so much.
He
By the
yes.
way,
Shouts to him. Let's
yeah,
let's not even skim over it. In my opinion, one of he's top two. He's top two. It's him and Suarez to me, Liverpool players.
mm,
The last I say 20 years.
wow. First off, I guess you hate Steven Gerrard. No problem. I respect it.
I don't like that. Wait, talent? Let's talk talent here. Yes, I'm taking Coutinho and Suarez over Gerard. Stop it. Talent, yes.
Listen, okay.
Yes. You know it
Listen, I remember,
too.
listen. I
Let's get to the
remember.
goods.
I know. Okay, relax. I remember. I remember when Coutinho was on Liverpool, and I
Yeah.
always used to say, "Man, this guy is absolutely incredible." Like, I
Yes.
remember it, like, incredible.
Yes.
And then he goes to Barcelona, and they play him out of position. So I'm like, "Yep, they just messed him up." I knew he was going to come back to the Premier League and perform. This is none of this is surprising. I get it. It's only been 20, 25 minutes, but great player. Suarez, I think Suarez is one of those players where, sure, you can hate him. I think most people on the planet don't like the guy, and probably justifiably so. But man, did he produced? He scored goals and goals and more goals. I mean, the guy was ridiculous. But
He's
when you
amazing.
have
He's amazing.
amazing, but when
Sadly,
you
his
have a
team wasn't that great at the time.
Mhm.
They weren't
Yeah,
that good enough. But
but when you have
um,
a player like Steven Gerrard, who's been the player on that team for X amount of years, like even if we're talking about Salah right now, right? We can talk
mm,
about Salah right now and add
mm,
him to the conversation.
yeah,
It's
add
very
that bum.
difficult. It's
Uh,
very difficult. It's very difficult to be like, okay, this player who was at Liverpool for 4 years, this Liverpool player who's there for 6 years, they're all better than Stevie G, who's they've been there for 15 years. So it's
yeah,
very difficult, you know.
that's
Um,
facts.
it's an interesting conversation. It's a lot of
Another
good
one
Liverpool
I
players.
just want to throw past you and see if
Yeah.
you agree. Maybe Fernando Torres. Does he
No,
have a
I mean
case?
he had a nice run.
He had a nice run.
He had a
He had
nice
a
run, but
nice run.
I think that was just like one of those things where it's a kind of like perfect situation type of
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
Um, you
I
know,
like it though.
he's one of those strikers where the second he got to Chelsea, it was chalked.
Oh, he was
So
chalked. He was shot, man.
it wasn't
It's
like
kind of
a
sad.
physical. It wasn't a physical thing. It was just like, oh, he's actually not as good as we thought. Like his play style was specific to that
So
Liverpool team.
that's another story for a different day.
Yeah.
Because I love that one. This is why I think Cristiano's the GOAT. He showed us in every kind of league that
Mm,
he can produce.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. But let's switch it up a little bit.
Of course.
I think it's pretty exciting, right? We talk about Man City all the time and how uh you guys came up with this oil money, quote unquote.
Came up.
You know,
I don't know if you know it. Little history lesson, Jay. If I'm not mistaken, I read this maybe like last year sometime. Manchester United actually I believe they needed money or needed room for a stadium or something like that, and we Manchester City gave it to you guys. Like way back in the day, like in the '60s.
so, so,
Do not disrespect. You guys were struggling. You guys were on your knees. You guys were homeless.
I'm
You
not
guys
even
were
throwing shade.
homeless.
I'm going off of what the
Don't talk about
general
no oil
consensus.
money.
I'm saying general consensus. You know, uh, oil money, quote unquote. Right. This is how you guys have gotten these
No,
titles. This is how you
yeah,
guys have became relevant. And
of
let's be
course.
real. Let's be real. What academy player have you guys produced in the last 20, 25 years that
Jay,
rivals Giggs, Rooney? I'm putting even Ronaldo in there. I know he came from Sporting, but I'm putting Ronaldo. He came. He's a
then you
United.
can't put him in.
Nah. He's coming, baby. He with us
Jay,
too, boy. Stop it.
Jay. First off, this has got to be the worst point you've ever made. First off, we have Phil Foden. He's a
Phil
generation.
Foden. Oh my God. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, Phil Foden. Go ahead. Phil
Jay, you're an absolute moron. You're an absolute moron.
Phil
Jay.
Foden. Go on. Okay, go ahead.
First off, Jay,
Go ahead.
he's going to be a generational talent.
Okay.
No question.
Okay.
And guess what? The other guy's on your team, Jadon Sancho. That's the other guy's on your team. So what are you talking about?
Oh my. So D. Yes, you guys have produced. Listen, you guys have produced talent, right? How does that rival? And you can be real with me, bro. How does that rival Giggs, Rooney? Do you see the names?
Rooney didn't come from. He came from Everton.
I know.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about you. You said academy players.
Okay. Great point.
You guys have Rashford. Speaking of Rashford,
oh, don't even go. That's how you're gonna do it.
Speaking of Rashford, the guy might as well retire. He's done. Okay, Jay. Serious question.
Yes.
Is he getting back into this team? When I mean getting back, I mean is he going to become a regular starter again, or is this guy is Ralph done with him for the season? The guy's playing a Langa over him. Let's be honest.
I mean, Ralph doesn't have a say in it at all.
Ralph's just
no. Honestly, listen. Like Rashford is he's a player bigger than a manager.
Damn. At
23. And he shouldn't be. You know why? Because he's not good enough. We all know that. I'm big on that, and I'm not even trying to talk down on the guy.
Yeah.
This is not me saying he's a bad person. None of that. Marcus Rashford is a great person. Like we know that, the person outside
Absolutely.
of the pitch,
It kind of
off the
sucks that
pitch,
like this stuff gets brought into it. Like you
it, it,
almost
it
can't
sucks.
criticize him
It
just
sucks.
because like he's a
It's
good person. It's kind
disgusting
of silly, you know.
because I'm able to separate the
Of
person
course,
from the art. It's so easy for me.
no one's attacking these guys personally, you
No
know.
one.
I mean, sure, we might make a joke here and there, but like
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's
But
ridiculous.
let's talk about the player though. He just so happens he is an academy player.
Hmm.
I apologize. I'm just saying I say academy because like they spend most of their chunk of their career there.
Of course, him
But I know what you
Greenwood.
mean. But yeah, Marcus Rashford is an academy player. He suffers from just the syndrome of they want to baby him, they want to
Mhm.
coddle him, and he can't do any wrong. So, oh, he's maturing. He's developing. He's gonna be a better player. How
He's been
like
there.
when does that end?
He's been in the first team for how long? Like
You feel when does that
five,
end?
6 years? Yeah, exactly,
Let's.
exactly.
Where's the same energy that you guys have for Martial?
Hmm.
Come on, Rashford. We need the
Yeah,
same thing, man.
that's a
Th-
that's a big that's a
bro,
bro. That's a big point right there because
they come
you,
together
you
like they came up together basically. If you're
and then
being
what they
real,
try to do is put Martial in a position where he doesn't even play. So
doesn't even compete at this point now.
and now what you heard from what I believe he put on Twitter, Martial put on Twitter something like, "Yo, I was ready to play. Like I wanted to play that game." And Ragnick said that I didn't want to play, but I did want to play. Like they're just like it's just so political over there, bro.
It's
And
disgusting.
I think Rashford it's difficult, right? Because you can obviously see the immense talent that Marcus Rashford is, right?
Oh,
We can all see
100%.
it, you know.
He
But
will
it's like
excel in a different, I think, a different system
a different environment, like
and yeah, a different environment.
maybe like in Germany or something like that, like.
Bro, he would
But
kill.
he hasn't improved, you know. Like he hasn't really improved a lot, if any, over the last maybe 3 years or so. And that's something that you guys um, as a club, you guys have to worry about that, right? Like Greenwood. I mean, watching Greenwood the other day. I mean, the guy's literally not looking up to make a pass. He's looking up to score
Yeah.
every single time. Like
Well,
at some point, you got to be like, "Yo, just look for a pass." Like these are little improvements that could be made
so
if there was.
so this
Uh,
is why the selection of our next manager is very very important.
yeah,
Um, I want someone to come in and really take him because like the talent's there. It's clearly there.
that's got to be a starter next season, right?
It
That's got to be.
has to. Like,
We thought it was going to be
see,
a starter this season.
exactly. But there was like, oh, Rashford's coming back, so where does he really fit
Ronaldo's
in?
here now. Yeah, all this
Sancho is
stuff.
also starting. Exactly.
Yeah.
But we
So
know now.
let's put him on the wing or something. Like he's not a winger.
No,
He's that guy's a center forward,
center
hundred
forward.
percent.
We know
Yeah.
now. He has to start, man. And I want to see a manager with a nice philosophy,
Hmm.
comes in, nice scheme, um, and places him in the right position where he can excel. Because I don't want that to be a talent that we mess up on. Like
Yeah.
Rashford had a point where he was, I thought he was going to be great too. But then I was like, nah,
He doesn't have
he's
it.
not
Yeah.
there yet. He's just
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
good enough. Greenwood has it though. He has it.
Greenwood has it.
He has
Greenwood
it,
has it for sure.
and he
100%.
wants it.
Jay, I'll tell you who doesn't have it, and that's Newcastle United. I believe they're now at the bottom of the table. Let me just triple check that. Let me just triple check that. Oh, Burnley. Oh, my fault. My fault. Newcastle with 12 points. Burnley with 11. Burnley has 3 more games to play than them. So yeah, basically Newcastle in the bottom of the bottom here.
Yep.
Um, Obviously the big deal that happened this season with the guys from Saudi Arabia. They come in now. They're gonna have a
Obtained it.
bunch of money to spend. Um, Obviously we're halfway through the January transfer window. I don't believe they got any players in yet. Jay, they might be going. They might have the most money in England, and they're going to be in the second division.
Isn't that
So,
crazy?
Jay, do you honestly like see them making any moves to get out of it, or are they just like, you know what, we're going to be complacent. We don't really care. We've already got the big. We've already got the bag. Like as a fan, and maybe even as a player, like we've already got the bag. We don't have to really worry about it. We're going to go back up next season, which they obviously are. But isn't it kind of embarrassing? Like,
I mean, it's not a good look for the league for one.
mm,
I know they're very disappointed. That's a lot of money they have invested in the
that they
club.
will be that yeah in the club, and then they will be investing in the
Exactly.
players. So yeah.
That's not probably going to be in the Premier League next season. How does that look on them as a brand? For one, it's not a good look. For
Yeah.
Newcastle, it can be one or two ways. I think this is a blessing in disguise for them. I don't think they're ready for that spotlight yet. You know,
Okay.
maybe take a year off and build. So go buy some players. They got a lot of
Yeah.
money. See what's good in the Champions League, championship,
Yeah.
uh, and ball out, and
Yeah.
then come back to the Premier League next season or the following year. And
The problem is how many good players are going to be willing to play in the championship next year, right? Like if you talk about spending your money, are like how much extra are you gonna have to spend to get a good quality player to play in the second division in England? You know,
how far off? Wait, how far off is it though? Because I look at it this way: when you're in the Premier League, you're already fighting for either the title, a spot in the Champions League, or a spot in
or
the
or you're
Europa
trying to
League
fight relegation. Yeah,
or
or you're trying to
relegation.
fight relegation. Yeah,
Right? Exactly.
I see.
So
I
why
agree with
not?
that.
Why not take your ass down to championship and fight for a spot up to the next level? Because either way, you're going to be doing that in that same
That'd
level.
be some good experience, to be honest with you, especially for the players that they are going to keep going forward. And that's kind of the thing. I think a lot of people, when they talk about Man City, they don't realize, like, okay, when the money came in, we didn't just go and get like all the best players. Like that wasn't the case. We started. I
Because
remember we started with like Alano and
yeah,
Garrido. Like if you're not a Man City fan during that period, you don't even understand. Like these players, you would forget. You have no idea who they are anymore, right? But that's who we started with, and we started with a bunch of C plus B minus level players, and we built up to a Yaya Torre. We built up to a David Silva. We built up to an Aguero, to a
yeah.
company. We built up to these players. I think it's very unrealistic for Newcastle United to be like, okay, let's go get Mbappe. Like it's just not going to happen. So I think that what you're saying is actually pretty cool, like a pretty good point. Whether they're bottom of the league this season or in the championship next season, I don't think it really matters because it's still going to be a period of 3, 4, maybe even 5 years before they even start competing for the top six, the top four, right?
Yeah,
With all their money. So
facts.
now, at the same time, if I were them, I would go all out this summer to make sure I'm in the Premier League next season. That's what I would do. It's not like the competition's steep. You got Burnley, you got Norwich, you got Watford, you got Everton, you got Leeds. Those are the teams who are going to be going down potentially. So you can get your ass out of the top out of the bottom three,
Oh yeah, because I mean,
pretty easily.
oh my god, I can't believe Everton dropped that much.
I know. Remember we were talking about them like top six,
That's
top eight. Like
wow,
I
bro.
know. And
Really?
Benitez, I forgot Benitez just got fired. I mean, I forgot we didn't even talk about that, but
Man,
that's just another manager gone. How many is it, like 12 now? I think Pep Klopp, only one's left. It's crazy, bro. Everybody got fired.
oh my
Uh,
god, it's a
but
good
yeah,
one.
it's gonna be interesting to see how this stuff pans out. You know, we have a lot of season left. To be honest with you, it kind of feels like we're towards the end, but we've got a lot of season left, and I'll be looking forward to this coming week. I know you guys have Brentford followed by West Ham. West Ham's going to be a massive,
It's
massive
gonna
game for
be
you guys.
crazy. It's gonna be rocking, man. I can't wait for
Yeah.
that one.
And we're just going to keep on rolling. Southampton. Listen, we have to avenge our loss against Southampton. Did we lose? No, we tied against Southampton. We have to avenge
Hey,
our draw
that's gonna
against
be the slip up
Southampton.
right there. There you go. You
You
guys are
think
losing that
so?
game.
I think we're winning 8-0.
He
All
said,
right, Jay.
"Oh my god, he's
No, I had to try
man's
to.
come back from Miami talking crazy."
I know, low key, low key. I'm kind of hype right now. All right, Jay. Episode 16. It's been a pleasure to get back to this with you,
Fire.
man. Like I love talking about this stuff with you. Love watching the Man United soap opera every week.
Hey,
Love
only this
watching
season.
Man.
Only we are bouncing back with some good play.
You
It's
sound
gonna
like Harry
be.
Maguire on
It's gonna.
Twitter. Bouncing back. Okay, Jay. Okay, Jay. All right, guys. I think
oh
I think
my
we're
god.
episode 16. Peace.